Chapter 21 Still Thinking About Doing Business. You are listening at novelfull.audio. What are our business-oriented cars priced between 500,000 and 600,000? Please give me the price list. Chen Mo asked. After constant questioning, he finally found out that the maximum amount allowed by the system to buy a car was about 600,000, so he wanted to take a look at the price list of vehicles close to 600,000 yuan, and then choose the most expensive one in the price list, and through the test just now, he also found that the system allows him to buy vehicles that are also limited, and most of them are more practical cars for business. If he wants to buy a small sports car, it is not allowed by the system. Okay, just wait a moment and I'll get it. The salesman said stiffly, then turned and left. Through her years of experience, the longer you look at a car, the smaller the chance of closing a deal, so she had given up hope of closing the deal, but out of professionalism, she still agreed to get the price list. Before long, the salesman came back with a price list. This is the price list you want, and the vehicles at the price you want are all in it. Chen Mo took the price list and looked directly at the price on the back of each vehicle without looking at the configuration of the vehicle. Finally, my eyes fell on a car priced at more than 590,000. Just this one. Chen Mo pointed at a Mercedes-Benz with a price list and said. The salesman was stunned for a moment, but he quickly responded. He looked at the car model Chen Mo was pointing at and spoke quickly. Sir, there is currently a discount on this car. You can write it down for about 580,000. Discount? Chen Mo frowned subconsciously when he heard the word discount. Just as he was about to refuse the offer, he heard the salesman speak again. However, there is another version of this car priced at 620,000 yuan. That one has a bigger discount. If the full price is 600,000 yuan, you can get it. 600,000. Chen Mo's eyes lit up. He swallowed the words that came to his mouth and changed his words. Then let's take the 600,000 car. Okay. Please come with me and sign the contract first. The salesman enthusiastically led Chen Mo and others into a room, and quickly brought over another contract. After the contract is signed, Chen Mo paid for the car in full under the surprised look of the salesman. Seeing Chen Mo and others leaving, the salesman couldn't help but sigh. This was probably the most annoying customer she had ever seen, but it was also the happiest one. Brother Yang, this car will be under your control from now on. On the way back, Chen Mo said to Yang Dehai. Okay, Mr. Chen. Yang Dehai nodded and continued to drive attentively. This is the best car he has ever driven, and he doesn't dare to be careless for fear of getting scratched. By the way, Brother Yang, Sister Hong, was she a chef before? The food she cooks is delicious. Chen Mo suddenly thought of the idea of building a canteen last night and asked. Oh, her father used to be a chef, and she learned some from it since she was a child. That's what I think. The company is planning to build a canteen and hire a few chefs. I think Sister Hong's skills are good and she is fully qualified. The salary can be 7,500 a month. Chen Mo said seriously that he had a general idea of the chef's salary last night. The salary of a chef ranged from 6,000 to 10,000. However, although Dong Hong cooks good food, there is still a lot of gap between him and those real chefs, so 7,500 is the highest salary he can give, but as his cooking skills improve in the future, he can still improve it. Thank you, Mr. Chen, but I can't make the decision on this matter. I'll ask her after get off work tonight. Yang Dehai thanked him, saying that 7,500 a month is already twice Dong Hong's current salary. If he hadn't been required to drive, he would have wanted to go back and tell his wife right now. Although he said he couldn't make the decision, he believed that as long as he went back and talked about it, his wife would definitely agree. In this way, the combined salary of the two people is 15,500, and if full attendance is included, it is 16,300. The family's financial situation suddenly changed from difficult to a well-off life. All these changes were brought about by the young people in the car. My heart is full of gratitude, but I don't know how to repay, so I have to work hard. Chen Mo didn't know what Yang Dehai was thinking, but he was thinking about spending money. One-star chef is given 15,000 yuan, and 3 are recruited. Counting Sister Hong, the total is more than 50,000 yuan. It's not enough to just have a chef, you also have to have laborers and cleaning staff, which is another expense. Good, the method of building a canteen is completely feasible. The next step is to look for a room to use as a canteen. The current workshop is definitely out of date and there isn't that much space. When you return to the company, you can see if there are any spare workshops for rent in the industrial park, which you can rent as a canteen. Rent is another expense. Moreover, the canteen still needs to be renovated, plus the purchase of some kitchen utensils, tables and chairs for eating. If used properly, the remaining system funds can be spent in one fell swoop. However, even if you spend the system funds, you can't relax too much. You must also pay attention to the clothes orders, otherwise, when the settlement comes, and an order money is suddenly deposited into the company's account, wouldn't it be a huge loss? Thinking of this, Chen Mo felt heartbroken. Wei Yan, the sixth child, must be more strict this time. If he can run less business, let him run less. The vehicle moves slowly, came to the company soon. Mr. Chen, look for me. Wei Yan came to the office, looked at Chen Mo and asked. Is there anything going on today? Chen Mo asked casually. Getting ready to meet a few clients. Let's put aside the business of meeting customers for now. I'm going to build a company cafeteria. Otherwise it would be unhealthy for employees to eat lunch boxes every day. You can check with the person in charge of the industrial park to see if there are any free workshops around our company. The closer they are, the more likely they are. The better. Wei Yan sighed secretly. As a salesman, he had not gone out to run business for several days, but since Mr. Chen had already given the order, it was hard for him to refuse. He had no choice but to nod. Okay, Mr. Chen, I'll go over and take a look. Chen Mo nodded and watched Wei Yan leave. If you still want to go out to run business, don't even think about it. Wei Yan left the office and walked to the office building in this industrial park. He had been there several times before and was familiar with the manager of the industrial park. We arrived at the office building with ease and found the manager's office, knocked on the door, and soon there was a response from inside. Enter. Push the door open and go in. Manager Li, are you busy? Wei Yan looked at the bald man sitting on the office chair and said with a smile. Li Mao recognized Wei Yan and pointed to the chair in front of him, his tone neither enthusiastic nor cold. Xiao Wei, come sit down. What can I do? Oh, I just came here to ask if there are any unleased workshops in the industrial park. Yes, I have. When Li Mao heard that he wanted to rent a workshop, he immediately became interested and quickly took out the floor map of the industrial park. Wei Yan leaned over and took a look. After a while, Wei Yan stood up. Okay, I understand, but I need to go back and report to my boss. Well, I'm waiting for your news. Wei Yan nodded and was about to leave when he saw a drawing out of the corner of his eye. As a salesperson of a clothing company, I could tell at a glance that it was a sample picture of clothing. Thinking of this, I asked casually. Manager Li, do you plan to make clothes? Oh, the boss asked me to find a clothing factory to make a batch of work clothes. Li Mao picked up the clothing sample picture on the table, then looked up at Wei Yan and said suddenly. I remember your company makes clothes. Chapter 22 Construction of Staff Dormitory. You are listening at novelfull.audio. That's right, if Manager Li hasn't selected a company yet, our workshop can make a sample garment for you first. It will probably be out tomorrow. What do you think? Wei Yan said solemnly. How could he miss such a good opportunity? No problem, but the quality must pass. Don't worry, Manager Li. All the materials used in our workshop are high-quality materials, and there is absolutely no problem with the quality. Okay. Li Mao enthusiastically sent Wei Yan to the door of the office. It's afternoon. Shen Ro got the information for applying for the 5 insurances, and took the employee's information with her, and Yang Dehai drove to the Social Security Bureau to open an account. Since the customized computer hadn't arrived yet, Chen Mo could only scroll through his phone in boredom. Boom, boom, boom. There was a knock on the office door. Chen Mo responded and saw Wei Yan opening the door and walking in. Mr. Chen, the idle workshop in the industrial park. This is the floor plan of the industrial park. As Wei Yan spoke, he marked out the idle workshops. Chen Mo took a look and found that these idle workshops were not far from the current workshop. The farthest one was only 200 meters away. Not bad. Have you negotiated the price? That the workshop is not the focus is how much he can spend on rent. Not yet. If Mr. Chen is interested, we can have an interview tomorrow. Then we'll have an interview tomorrow. Chen Mo nodded and Wei Yan exited the office. It's almost time to get off work. Chen Mo also finished handling business and returned to the company. Chen Mo didn't stop at the company and asked Yang Dehai to drive home, while also pulling Chen Mo back. Mr. Chen, just stop here. In front of a subway entrance, Chen Mo hurriedly greeted. This subway station was only one stop away from her part-time job, and she didn't want Mr. Chen to waste more time to see her off. Thank you, Mr. Chen. Get off. Chen Mo thanked her again. Mr. Chen, can you go back directly? Yang Dehai slowly started the vehicle and asked. Well, go home. Chen Mo nodded. Honey, how are you? I think the treatment is very good, and you also have to pay insurance. This way you have a guarantee when you get old, and it can also relieve some pressure on your daughters. On the sofa, Yang Dehai told Chen Mo about recruiting a chef. Isn't 7,500 a bit too much? With my half-assed cooking skills, I always feel a little uneasy with such a large salary. Dong Hong's expression was hesitant. It wasn't that he didn't want to be a chef, but it was all too sudden and unreal. Mr. Chen has said that the food you cook is delicious, and if you are not practical, you should cook more seriously and make the food more delicious. Yang Dehai said seriously. Okay, then I'll quit my job tomorrow. Dong Hong made a decision, then stood up and walked into the kitchen, eager to try. I'm cooking some dishes and sending them to Mr. Chen upstairs for him to try. Soon the table was filled with sumptuous meals. Wow, there are so many dishes. Yang Duo ran out of the bedroom smelling the fragrance, looked at the food on the table, and couldn't help swallowing. He looked at the sauced chicken feet on the table and stretched out his little hand to eat them. If your hands are clean, just do it. Before his little hand touched the chicken feet, he was stopped by a pair of chopsticks. Then I'm going to wash my hands. Yang Duo stuck out her tongue and ran to the bathroom. When it comes out, then she saw her mother carrying a bag to her. Send this to my brother upstairs. Be polite and don't mess around. Oh. Yang Duo held her pockets in both hands, left the house and walked upstairs. Upstairs, Chen Mo looked at the bag in Yang Duo's hand and knew that dinner was coming for him again. After thinking about it for a while, he took it. Thank you Duo. He bent down and rubbed Yang Duo's little head, and said softly. You're welcome, because brother, Duo has eaten a lot of meat. Yang Duo tilted her head and said happily. She didn't know who this brother was, but she could feel that the changes in the family must be related to this handsome brother in front of her. Brother, you have to eat well, Duo is going back. After saying that, her little body quickly ran downstairs, as if something was attracting her. Chen Mo shook his head and smiled when he saw this. On the second day, 10 o'clock in the morning, inside the company, Li Maoda looked at the tables and chairs in the office with a slightly surprised expression. He knew the brand of this table and chair very well, and the price was very expensive. He didn't expect that a small clothing factory would be willing to spend money to buy such expensive tables and chairs. Moreover, he just secretly visited the workshop and found that the workshop was actually equipped with air conditioning. To install air conditioning in the workshop, based on his knowledge, this is probably the only workshop of all sizes in the entire industrial park. Mr. Li, sit down. Chen Mo looked at the bald man who came in and greeted him. Mr. Chen is too polite. I wonder if Mr. Chen has chosen which house to rent. Li Maoda sat down and looked at the floor plan of the industrial park on the table. Chen Mo promptly brought a glass of water and placed it in front of Li Maoda's table. I don't know what the prices of these houses are. Chen Mo directly asked the question he wanted to know most. Oh, let me introduce you. Li Maud pointed at the houses marked on the floor plan and said one by one. This one has the smallest area, and the rent is 100,000 yuan. This one is slightly larger, and it costs 130,000 yuan. This one. After listening to Li Maud's introduction, Chen Mo pointed directly to the most expensive house without hesitation. This one. This house is not only the most expensive, but also the closest to the current workshop. Whether considering the price or the distance, this house is undoubtedly the most suitable. This house has 2 floors, each floor is 150 square meters, and the rent needs 200,000 yuan per year. The rent starts from 1 year. Mr. Chen is sure to rent this one. Rent this one, rent it for 2 years first. Do you have the contract? You can sign the contract now. Chen Mo nodded. He wanted to try to rent it for a few more years, but he didn't expect that the system would allow him to rent for only 2 years. 2 years is 2 years, at least it is 400,000 yuan. I brought it. Li Maud was stunned for a while. He didn't expect things to go so smoothly. In the past, when someone came to rent a workshop, they would bargain for a while before giving up, and the young boss in front of him didn't consider it at all, and didn't even bargain for the price, and just chose it directly. This was really beyond his expectation, but he still hurriedly brought the contract in the briefcase and handed it over. Soon the contract was signed by both parties. Excuse me, Mr. Chen, are you planning to expand the production of the workshop? Li Maud put away the contract and asked curiously. Oh, then no, it's used as the company cafeteria. Chen Mo said truthfully, and then picked up his mobile phone to transfer money to Li Maud, but Li Maud suddenly interrupted him. Mr. Chen, the payment only needs 330,000. Chapter 23, In the time it takes to rent a workshop, I can get an order. You are listening at novelfull.audio. What's the meaning? Chen Mo looked at Li Maud with a puzzled expression, and he suddenly had a bad feeling. It's like this. Our boss wants to customize a batch of work clothes. Wei Yan went to my place yesterday and just had a discussion. The sample clothes were sent to me this morning. I saw that the workmanship and quality were quite good, so I ordered 1,000 sets. The price of each set was 70. So the 70,000 that was subtracted was for work clothes. Money. Li Maud said happily that he rented out a house and completed the task assigned by his boss. Today is his lucky day, Wei Yan. It's Wei Yan again. This guy Cun is against him, right? I don't know if I can fire him. Host, please note that as a boss, if you want to fire an employee, you must give appropriate reasons, otherwise you should not fire employees at will. Chen Mo listened to the warning given by the system and sighed helplessly. However, Wei Yan himself did nothing wrong, and his original intention was for the company. If he was fired just because of these, he would feel bad. I can't be fired, but I can't be fired. Use it, and secretly do things for him. I just asked him about the house and got him an order. If we let him go out to run business, we don't know how many orders he will get back. It's so inconvenient. However, even if he cannot be dismissed, he must find an opportunity to be transferred to another place. It's not okay to just let him cause trouble in the business department. At worst, he could be transferred to another place and given more salary. Chen Mo made secret calculations in his heart. Mr. Chen, is there anything difficult? Chen Ro looked at Chen Mo, who had a strange expression on his face, and hurriedly stepped forward to ask. Fine. Chen Mo shook his head, then turned to look at Chen Ro. You can find a decoration company. I want to decorate the newly rented house into a canteen. Okay. Chen Ro nodded, returned to her seat and started uploading decoration information online. It's almost noon. Yang Dehai brought Dong Hong to the company. I'm sorry, Mr. Chen. Resigning took a little time. Yang Dehai said apologetically. After sending Chen Mo to the company this morning, he went to pick up Dong Hong from Chen Mo's permission. I didn't expect that. The boss of Dong Hong's company was not at the company and waited for a long time. It's not too late. Since Sister Hong has already thought about it, let's sign the contract. Chen Mo smiled and handed the contract he had prepared to Dong Hong. With his trust in Chen Mo, Yang Dehai took the contract without even looking at it, and directly took Dong Hong to sign the contract. After a while, the contract was signed. Put away the contract. Chen Mo directly transferred his salary to Dong Hong's account, totaling 7,900. Thank you, Mr. Chen, you are the benefactor of our family. Dong Hong looked at the transfer information on her phone, her eyes turned red for a moment, and she thanked Chen Mo with a sincere expression. Chen Mo didn't expect that Dong Hong would show up like this, so he quickly reached out and helped him up. Sister Hong, you work hard and I pay my salary. There is no need to thank you. That's different. Anyway, you helped our family. The canteen is over there. It's almost noon. Let me go cook. I can't get this salary for nothing. Dong Hong said seriously that her salary had already been paid to her, and she always felt uneasy if she didn't do something. Sister Hong, the canteen is under construction, and the company does not have a place to cook yet. Ah, how can this be done? Let me refund your salary first. When the canteen is built and I can work, just give it to me. Don't worry, Sister Hong. You can't cook, but there are other tasks you need to complete. Chen Mo said with a smile. He really felt the simplicity of this family. I need Sister Hong to make a recipe to use in the future canteen cuisine. The more dishes, the better. Dong Hong regained her composure and responded directly. She was still confident in making the recipe. When I was young, I learned a lot of cuisines from my father, but I haven't cooked some of them for a long time, so I need to get familiar with them when I get home. Wu office building, Qinglin decoration. Everyone, stop for a moment. There is a job tomorrow and I need a measuring stick. Which of you will do it? A slightly fat man walked into the studio, clapped his hands and said. Brother Chi, what kind of job is it? One designer asked curiously. Other designers also looked at the fat man with interest. They could earn a lot of commission from a good job. The information shows that the canteen is being renovated. Zibu said. As his words fell, everyone instantly lost interest. Decorate canteens, restaurants, etc. Among their design departments, the ones recognized as having the lowest profits survived, and sometimes there are a lot of requirements, and we often put a lot of effort into making design drawings, but the order is snatched away by other decoration companies. Brother Chi, I have a bungalow design here that I haven't finished yet, so I won't go there. A man spoke. Brother Chi, I need to communicate with the previous customer today. Chibu looked around and found that no one was willing to take the job, and sighed. He also knew that this job was not lucrative, but mosquitoes were still meat no matter how small they were. As a supervisor, he could not just throw this list aside. After looking around, his eyes finally fell on a young boy. He remembered that this boy was a newly recruited intern who had been in the company for 3 months. He was already able to do basic design drawings and quotations, but he had not yet been promoted, so he had always been helping other designers. Why not give him this order to practice, and if he did it well, he would be promoted. Even if he didn't do it well, there was no profit anyway, and if it was gone, it was gone. Chibu thought secretly, and then spoke directly. Wang Yang, you have been in the company for a while, and I will give you this order to try. If you can complete it, I will consider giving you a regular job. As he said, he casually threw a piece of information to Wang Yang. There are contact numbers and addresses on it, you can contact them yourself. Thank you, Brother Chi. Wang Yang took the information and hurriedly thanked him. Others looked down on this job, but he was different. He was just an intern and used to help others, but this time he could actually complete an order alone. Whether the order was good or bad, it was an experience for him, and if it can be done well, he can directly become a regular employee, which is something he has been longing for a long time. As long as he becomes a regular employee, he will not have to earn a fixed salary, and he can earn commissions from decoration fees like other regular employees. After the supervisor left, several employees gathered around Wang Yang in an instant. One of the employees looked at the information on the table and sighed. Xiao Yang, don't have too much hope for this job. I have taken on similar jobs several times and it is very difficult to do. Difficulty is secondary. The most important thing is that the profit is too small, which is not proportional to the labor cost. It is the kind of tasteless and a pity to throw away. In short, you have to experience it yourself. I think Brother Chi threw this order to you because he saw that he couldn't give it to others. Several designers were talking or complaining beside Wang Yang. Almost all of them were not optimistic about this order, Wei Yan was a little nervous when he heard this, but he still clenched his fists when he thought of the supervisor's remarks about becoming a regular employee. Chapter 24. The best materials are needed for decoration. You are listening at novelfull.audio. On the second day, morning. Mr. Chen, the people taking the measurements are already here. I need you to go over and tell me what your requirements are for the decoration. Chen Mo walked closer, looked at Chen Mo who was sleeping and said softly. Oh, is anyone here? Come over and have a look. Chen Mo became much more energetic after hearing this. This renovation affects how much system funds he can spend, and he must personally supervise it. You can't rest assured if you leave it to others, especially Wei Yan. Mr. Chen, this is our newly rented workshop. Chen Mo brought Chen Mo to the new workshop with a strange expression. Mr. Chen rented the house yesterday and didn't even come over to take a look, so much so that when we just came here, we still needed her to lead the way. Chen Mo took a moment to look at the appearance of the new house. It was a 2-story cement brick building just like the company's workshop, but it was smaller than the company's workshop. Push the door and enter. The interior of the house is very empty, with no extra buildings except the necessary supporting columns. This house was used as a warehouse before, so no decoration or modification was done. Chen Mo walked aside, looked at the empty house, and explained, she had already learned all the information about the new workshop last night. Hello, I am the designer of Shangmei decoration, and you must be Mr. Chen. A woman suddenly came over and said politely. At the same time, designers from other homes in the house also came over. Chen Mo nodded in response and looked up at the people gathered around him. There were actually more than 10 people. Why are there so many people, that he thought there was only one decoration one? That's what the decoration software is like. As long as you upload information, many decoration companies will get the information at the same time. Chen Mo answered truthfully, her expression a little embarrassed. She just found out about this last night. After uploading the information yesterday afternoon, she didn't know how many decoration companies called her after get off work, so much so that she was criticized by her boss even when she was working part-time. After going back, I learned that the uploaded information was shared. Any decoration company that registers as a member of that software will get the uploaded information, and the dozen people in front of her were the result of her screening, otherwise there would be more. Well, it's better to have more people, so you can choose the one with the highest price. Chen Mo muttered unconsciously, and couldn't help but smile on his face. The most expensive one. I must have heard wrong, it should be considered the lowest price. Chen Mo listened to Chen Mo's muttering, with a puzzled expression, and then shook her head. Mr. Chen, if you have any decoration requirements, you can tell us, and then we will have a direction when we make the design drawings. The female designer spoke again. Okay. Chen Mo nodded and started walking around the room. This floor is built as a canteen. For the safety of employees, the first point is the issue of paint. Safe and environmentally friendly paint must be used. Price is not an issue, but paint must be used that is less harmful to the human body. The second point is ceramic tiles. The canteen is also the company's front, so the ceramic tiles must be from big brands. The above points are the primary requirements and must be remembered. Chen Mo emphasized, then walked to the innermost part and stretched out his hand to make gestures. This area is used for cooking and cooking. As for the specific details required, the chef will communicate with you later. Keep moving. The remaining area is the dining area for employees. There are no requirements for this, but the 2 walls can leave corresponding positions. I plan to put in 2 large screens. Employees can watch TV and relax while dining. By the way, central air conditioning needs to be installed, both on the first and second floors. Chen Mo suddenly said that he had almost forgotten about the air conditioner, which was a big expense. As for the basic facilities of the bathroom and sink, I won't go into details. The only thing is that you must use the brand name. I don't want things to break after not using them for a long time. A group of designers followed Chen Mo, holding sketches in their hands, constantly recording Chen Mo's requirements, but everyone's eyes were filled with wonder. this is the first time they have encountered a boss who is so considerate to his employees. Wang Yang was also mixed in the crowd, and the sketch at this time was already covered with annotations. Thinking about the request just now, I couldn't help but admire that this boss is really kind to his employees. Even the canteen is equipped with air conditioners. You should know that their design department does not have air conditioners and they work with fans blowing every day. Chen Mo ignored the expressions of others and came to the stairs. I plan to pack this staircase and cover it with a layer of solid wood so that it will be safer if someone falls. As for the upstairs, I plan to build a leisure and entertainment room for employees. Employees can come here to relax and have fun after get off work. Come to the second floor, the layout is the same as on the first floor. The entertainment room must have entertainment facilities. I plan to put in 2 billiard tables, table tennis tables, game consoles, and several massage chairs. When employees are tired, they can come here for a massage and relax. As for how these facilities are arranged, that is your business. After Chen Mo finished speaking, he went downstairs and left. All the requirements have been said, and all that is left is to choose the one with the highest price among these designers. Chen Mo followed behind him, her eyes flickering. She knew that Chen Mo's employees were very good, but she didn't expect them to be so good. The facilities just mentioned in the entertainment room alone are already a huge expense. 2 days later, Qinglin decoration. Wang Yang sat in front of the computer, and heaved a sigh of relief. The finished floor plan and quotation sheet were finally sent over. It's done, let me see how it goes. A designer came to the computer desk. It's okay. This floor plan is well done. There is nothing wrong with it. What about the quotation sheet? The quotation for a canteen decoration should not be too high. The designer curiously clicked on the quotation sheet, and then frowned. 450,000. A simple canteen decoration actually came up with a quotation of 450,000. I'm afraid it's crazy. Then he opened the quotation list and took a look. He finally figured out why the quotation was so high. All the paints, tiles, lights and other supplies were actually big brands, and the prices were very expensive. These alone are not enough to reach 450,000 yuan. The most ridiculous thing is that they actually provided a central air conditioner worth more than 100,000 yuan. He has done company orders. Generally, companies require the installation of central air conditioners, which are almost for decoration. For an area of several hundred square meters, only a small power air conditioner is provided, and the price is less than 10,000 yuan. There is no difference between turning on the air conditioner and not turning it on. Xiao Yang, your quotation is too high. You should change it, otherwise you will not be selected. The designer said earnestly. But I have already sent it. Wang Yang said. And this quotation is all made according to the requirements of the boss over there. The designer sighed and patted Wang Yang on the shoulder. Boy, you are still too young. Although the customer has said so many requirements, the price still has to be considered in the end. This kind of thing is the experience he has summed up step by step. The customer swears to use a big brand for decoration, but changes his mind when he sees the quotation, and chooses the cheap quoted materials without hesitation. Chapter 25. Only choose the most expensive. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Mr. Chen, here is the quotation and floor plan from the decoration company. You can take a look. Chen Mo came over with a stack of information. Chen Mo reached out to take the information and flipped through it. Chen Mo, the assistant, was quite attentive. She stapled together the quotations and floor plans of each company, and wrote the company's name on them. Can be easily distinguished. How can such a careful assistant be paid 6,000 yuan? The salary must be increased. Well done. It seems you have fully adapted to the job of assistant. Thank you, Mr. Chen, for the compliment. Chen Mo thanked her and couldn't help but smile. It feels good to be affirmed. Well, starting next month, your salary will be raised to 8,000. Chen Mo looked at the happy Chen Mo and said with a smile, I secretly complained that this system was so stingy that it only allowed a salary increase of 2,000. Ah, Chen Mo exclaimed, then looked at Chen Mo in disbelief. and for a moment she wondered if she had heard wrong. "Mr. Chen, were you talking about a salary increase just now?" "Yes, after these days of inspection, it turns out that your business ability is very good, and the company's staffing is not complete. You need to do most of the work alone, so it is inevitable to give you a salary increase." "But, isn't it too much?" Chen Mo whispered that she was very happy to get a salary increase, but she didn't expect that her salary would suddenly increase by 2,000. "Not much at all, you deserve it. You go ahead and do your work first. I want to take a look at the quotations from these companies." When Chen Mo saw that Chen Mo had something to say, he waved his hand directly. Seeing this, Chen Mo had no choice but to turn around and leave, but she secretly made up her mind that since Mr. Chen valued her so much, she must work harder. Chen Mo didn't know what Chen Mo was thinking, and was looking through the quotations with a frown. He clearly told the designers that all decoration materials should be from big brands, but he had just looked through the quotations from 4 or 5 decoration companies, and the most expensive quotation was only 200,000. Moreover, he took a rough look at the materials used in the quotation. Although it was not a small brand, it was still inferior to the big brands he knew. The most outrageous central air conditioner is only quoted for more than 20,000 yuan. Chen Mo threw the information from these companies aside with a speechless expression and continued to pick up quotations from other companies, but soon, he frowned more and more. The quotes from these companies were no different from the previous ones, and they were completely inconsistent with his spending expectations. The quotations were thrown aside one by one, and soon only 3 of the dozen or so quotations were left. Hey! Just when Chen Mo had no hope for the quotation, he finally saw a different quotation. The amount on this quotation was actually 450,000. This is more than double the price quoted by other decoration companies. After briefly looking at the materials on the quotation, I found that they were made exactly as he requested. Good, can anyone still understand what I mean? Chen Mo nodded with satisfaction and looked at the remaining 2 quotations. If there was nothing surprising, he threw them aside. That's it. Chen Mo left the quotation named Qinglin Decoration and called Chen Mo over. As for the floor plan, he just glanced at it. It was similar to what he described. There was no outrageous design, so he didn't delve into it. "Mr. Chen, you have made your choice." Chen Mo looked at the quotation in Chen Mo's hand with curiosity, wondering which decoration company Mr. Chen had chosen. When sorting out the quotations, she also took a look at the quotations from various decoration companies. Except for one quotation that was very outrageous, the rest were similar, and she didn't know which lucky person would be chosen. Chen Mo looked at the name on the quotation curiously. Qinglin Decoration, something familiar, but soon, Chen Mo knew why she was familiar with it. This Qinglin Decoration was clearly the one with the most outrageous quotation, and the quotation was more than double that of other decoration companies, so she was very impressed by this decoration company, and she was still mumbling at that time, how could she be chosen with such a high quote? But reality slapped her in the face, and Mr. Chen chose this decoration company. Is it something special? Chen Mo was puzzled, so she opened the quotation sheet and looked at it, and soon realized it. This quotation is expensive, but there is a reason for it. The decoration materials on it are all big brands, which is the same as the requirement described by Mr. Chen the day before yesterday. The other quotations are much different. Sure enough, Mr. Chen really cares about his employees, and he didn't even compromise on the decoration materials. This is different from those who talk about providing various benefits to employees but actually do nothing. Or, even if it was done, it would be different from the boss who gave a lot of discounts. Mr. Chen talks the talk. It's great to have a boss like this. As Chen Mo thought about it, the corners of her mouth curled up unconsciously. He returned to his seat with the quotation and picked up the phone to call the designer of Qinglin Decoration. Qinglin Decoration. Wang Yang sat absent-mindedly at his workstation. Ever since his colleague said there was something wrong with his quotation and it shouldn't be so expensive, he began to feel a little anxious. I spent the whole morning anxiously waiting for the result. Whenever there was some movement on the phone, he would be impatient to open it and check whether there was a result on the other side. "Xiao Yang, haven't you replied yet?" A designer walked by and asked casually. "No." Wang Yang glanced at his phone and shook his head. "Then it should be hopeless. You have sent it for such a long time. If you were not selected, I would have called you to inform you long ago." Don't wait, work hard, there are many opportunities to become a regular employee. If you miss it this time, just wait for the next time. The designer patted Wang Yang on the shoulder, like an elder brother comforting his younger brother. I know, Brother Jun. Wang Yang nodded disappointedly, he still attaches great importance to this decoration design. Whether it is the design drawing or the quotation, he has done it very carefully. In order to get the design plan selected, he can also take the opportunity to become a formal employee. Although he was prepared to fail, he was still a little disappointed when this result really fell on him. That's good to know. Don't be discouraged. Next time when you make a quotation, you can discuss it with me. As a senior, I can still teach you some experience. Then I'll trouble you, Brother Jun. Wang Yang looked at Chen Jun with gratitude after hearing this. Being able to get guidance from a senior can help him avoid many detours. Chen Jun nodded with satisfaction. He enjoyed this grateful look very much. Just as he was about to say something, Wang Yang's phone suddenly rang. He glanced at the caller ID. Brother Jun, it's a call from the decoration department. I'll take it. Chapter 26. The plan was selected. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hi, hello. Wang Yang answered the phone, but with Chen Jun's words just now, there was a lot less expectation and excitement at this time. Yes. That's right. Yes, yes. Thank you, I'll do it right away. As the words came over there, Wang Yang's expression gradually changed from calm to excitement, and finally to excitement. Hang up the phone, Wang Yang looked excitedly at Wang Jun, who was still standing aside. Brother Jun, I called over there and said that my plan was selected and asked us to arrange for people to decorate it as soon as possible. Was your plan chosen? Chen Jun looked at Wang Yang in disbelief. Such an expensive plan will actually be chosen. Yes, absolutely true. I'm going to inform the supervisor. The contract can be signed at any time. The requirement is to arrange decoration as soon as possible. After Wang Yang finished speaking, he ran excitedly to the supervisor's office. Wang Jun stood there blankly, with a lot of thoughts in his mind, and he couldn't help but wonder whether the experiences he had summarized over the years were right or wrong, but soon, he shook his head to drive away the random thoughts in his mind. This must be Wang Yang's good luck, and he caught up with a boss who was not short of money. But it's not that easy to meet someone who is not short of money, and you may not have such good luck in the future. Soon, the supervisor, Chi Bu, took Wang Yang to the design department. Looking at the many designers working hard, he cleared his throat and said loudly, "Everyone, please stop what you are doing and let me make an announcement." All the designers looked up. Just 2 days ago, I gave Wang Yang, an intern in our company, an order to decorate the canteen. Today I received the news that the plan has been selected. According to what I said before, Wang Yang will be a formal employee of our company from today on. Congratulations to everyone. A round of applause burst out. After the applause died down, Chibu spoke again. In this regard, I want to say one more thing. Do you know the final quotation for this canteen decoration plan? The voice paused for a moment, then spoke loudly. A total of 450,000. This quote is already higher than most of your orders. This is a warning to us. Don't look down on any orders in the future. Maybe an inconspicuous order actually has a lot of profit in it. Chibu said loudly that Wang Yang's case can be used as a model in the company for future publicity. Changfeng Garment Factory. Office. Mr. Chen, Qinglin Decoration said that as long as the contract is signed, construction can start at any time. But the decoration fee for the 3rd floor needs to be paid first, and the remaining 7 floors also need to be paid in 2 installments. Chen Mo came to Chen Mo and reported the news she had just received. What about the decoration fee? Tell the people over there and I'll pay it in full. Mr. Chen, this is not good. What's wrong? Chen Mo disagreed. Of course the decoration fee had to be paid in full. What was the purpose of doing this? It was just to spend money. Chen Mo was speechless for a moment and obeyed Chen Mo's request. On the second day, Chen Mo paid the decoration fee in full. Under the surprised gaze of Cheng Lin decoration, the decoration team arrived at the scene quickly and started decorating. In the next few days, 2 more star chefs were recruited, and the decoration plan for the canteen was completely finalized. In these days, the customized computer finally arrived at the company and was installed. The renovation of the exterior wall of the workshop was completed as scheduled. Even the initial custom-made company plaque has been completed. Because it was too large, it was installed directly on the roof of the workshop. When night comes, I turn on the light box on the plaque and become the brightest person in the industrial park. There are also facilities in the entertainment room. Although they have not been decorated yet, it does not affect him to spend money to purchase them first: billiard tables, table tennis tables, massage chairs, etc. All the facilities he bought were brand name. This series of operations spent all the system funds in one fell swoop. Chen Mo sat back on the gaming chair, focused his attention on the system panel, and smiled unconsciously as he looked at the remaining system funds on it. Host, Chen Mo. System funds, 341/2 million. Personal assets, 2023. Settlement cycle, 2 weeks later, countdown, 1 day and 4 hours. You can settle it tomorrow, keep it up like this, and when you settle it at noon tomorrow, you can become a millionaire. Thinking in my heart, Chen Mo turned on the computer happily and skillfully opened the game icon on the desktop. Since the new computer was installed, he downloaded a PC game called Tianlong to pass the time when he was bored. Of course, most of his time in the company was boring. At this time, all the characters in his game have reached level 50, and they can already leave the novice village and go to the wild to farm monsters. Enter the game. Chen Mo controlled the character to leave novice village directly and went to the wild. According to the settings of this game, the chance of finding good equipment in the wild will be greater. Far away, when Shenro heard the sound of the keyboard and mouse, she knew that Mr. Chen was playing games again. At first, when she heard Chen Mo keep typing on the keyboard, she thought Mr. Chen was concentrating on his work, and then she used the excuse of delivering water to take a curious look. But I never expected that Mr. Chen was actually playing games. But thinking carefully, Mr. Chen played games like this because he trusted her. Otherwise, there was a boss who would leave everything to the assistant and ignore it. Shenro thought to herself and encouraged herself secretly, come on. You must work hard and not let Mr. Chen down. In the game, Chen Mo kept controlling the character to kill monsters in the wild, and soon a good piece of equipment exploded. But when he was about to pick it up, a stream of light suddenly shot from a distance and hit his character. The health bar on the character was emptied at a speed visible to the naked eye. Before Chen Mo could react, another stream of light shot over, and this time the character's health bar was directly emptied. Your character has been killed by, I am a rich man. Chen Mo looked at the kill prompt, confused, but soon he saw a character wearing gorgeous equipment coming over, with a pair of huge colorful wings behind him. Ding. I am a rich man. You sent a private message. Poor bastard, call me daddy, or I will kill you every time I see you. Chen Mo looked at the private message, his mouth twitched, and then clicked the report button. Sorry. The user you reported is a luxury 6 user. The report failed. Chen Mo was silent for a long time, and finally closed the message interface, clicked revive, and prepared to start over. Sorry, you were killed by a luxury user, and you can only be resurrected after 30 minutes. Tip: you can be resurrected directly by paying a diamond, or you can be resurrected directly by obtaining the protection of a luxury user. Chapter 27. This is a traitor. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Nima. Chen Mo finally couldn't help but burst out a swearing when he saw this scene. Then he clicked on the recharge page and checked the membership level. Ordinary member, recharge 100 yuan. Senior member, recharge 1000 yuan. Deluxe member, recharge 100,000 yuan. Looking at the words 100,000, and looking at the personal assets on the system panel, Chen Mo fell into silence again. Finally, he picked up his mobile phone to recharge 1 yuan, bought 10 diamonds, and chose to revive, came to the wild to swipe monsters again, but not long after, another stream of light shot over, then a familiar figure appeared on the screen. Your character has been killed by, I am a rich man. Then, the message flashed, I am a rich man. Send a private message. Poor, don't play this game if you don't have money, it's rubbish. Chen Mo looked at the ridicule in the private message and wanted to report or block it, but all failed. He felt full of malice in this game. Is it great to be rich? Chen Mo chose to uninstall without hesitation. He also gave a bad review on the game review. It's a rubbish game that no one would play. It was a waste of my money. He casually looked through other people's reviews, and 90% of them were bad reviews, which made him feel much better instantly. It's a money-making game, rubbish. You can't play it without paying. It's a waste of traffic. Mr. Chen, are you okay? Chen Mo brought a cup of coffee over, looked at Chen Mo's angry look, and asked with concern. It's okay. Chen Mo waved his hand, took the coffee handed over by Chen Mo, and took a sip, feeling the bitterness in the coffee. The emotions in his heart gradually calmed down. Dong dong dong. There was a knock on the office door. Come in. Chen Mo said. Wei Yan pushed the door open and walked in with a smile on his face. Mr. Chen, the snack cabinets you requested have arrived. I have arranged for them to be placed in the workshop. Someone will come to replenish the stock regularly. Well, you did a good job, but next time, there is no need to report such small matters specifically. Chen Mo nodded. He originally planned to place the snack cabinets in the activity room on the second floor of the cafeteria, but then he thought that 2 cabinets could be placed in the workshop. Of course, in order to spend money, the snacks in these snack cabinets were naturally reimbursed by the company. Oh, I mainly want to report another thing. Wei Yan said with a smile and a mysterious look. What is it? Chen Mo also instantly became curious. Didn't I receive an order a while ago? The batch of goods was completed in the workshop a few days ago and has been sent to the customer over there. The customer over there looked at the quality of the clothes and thought the quality of the clothes was very good, so he placed another order of 70,000. You said that the customer over there placed another order of 70,000. Chen Mo's expression froze. Yes. The customer over there also said that if you continue to maintain this quality, they will continue to place orders in the future. Wei Yan looked at Chen Mo's stagnant expression, thinking that Mr. Chen was shocked by his news. Chen Mo rubbed his head, and suddenly had a headache for no reason, and looked up at Wei Yan. When will they pay? That I hope they haven't paid yet, so that they can find a way to postpone it. But Wei Yan's next words broke his fantasy. It has been paid, and it is estimated that it has arrived in the company's account at this time. Hearing this, Chen Mo hurriedly glanced at the system panel in his mind. Sure enough, the system funds that were originally only 341 had become 70,341 at this time. Chen Mo collapsed directly on the chair, looking at Wei Yan with a smile on his face, and his mouth twitched. Wei Yan, Wei Yan. This is a traitor. I should have thought of it a long time ago. Mr. Chen, are you okay? Wei Yan looked at Chen Mo's appearance and asked worriedly. Chen Mo waved his hand weakly. It's okay, you go down first, I want to be quiet. Then Mr. Chen, you have a good rest. Wei Yan looked at Chen Mo's condition, said with concern, and then left the office. Lean to the right, okay, that's it. Li Shen directed the workers to move the snack cabinet to the corner of the workshop and put it neatly. There are 2 snack cabinets in total, one for potato chips and other snacks, and the other for various drinks. Xiao Shen, what is this for? An older employee looked at the snack cabinet in the corner and asked in confusion. I know this, unmanned vending machine, just scan the code to pay for what you want to eat. Another young employee also came over and explained. Li Shen looked at the young employee, smiled lightly, and then clapped his hands and greeted. Everyone stop for a moment, let me say a few words. Looking at all the employees' eyes looking at him, he spoke again. I guess everyone has noticed these 2 snack cabinets. Yes, Mr. Chen paid for them. You can choose the snacks and drinks in them freely. You don't need to pay anything. All expenses are paid by Mr. Chen. All employees were happy when they heard the word free. The young employee who said that he needed to scan the code to pay was full of surprise at this time. He carefully observed the snack cabinet and found that he did not find the place to scan the code. Li Shen looked at everyone's happy expressions, cleared his throat, and continued to speak. Although the snacks in this snack cabinet are free, everyone should be more conscious and take as much as they can eat, and don't waste them. Mr. Chen kindly gave me a free snack cabinet, and we should also consciously cherish it. Okay, that's all. In short, everyone should be more conscious. After speaking, Li Shen returned to his workstation. The workshop was calm for a while, and everyone was once again devoted to work. After an unknown period of time, an employee stood up and hesitated for a moment, then stood up and walked to the snack cabinet, took a bottle of drink and returned to his workstation. After drinking a sip of the drink, he continued to work, but the whole person's working state was full of vitality, no longer decadent and boring before. This small snack cabinet is not just as simple as snacks, it also makes him feel happy at this time, and he is full of recognition of the company. This feeling has begun to change little by little since Mr. Chen took over the company. Early salary, installation of air conditioners, salary increase, insurance, free lunch, and the canteen and entertainment room under renovation, plus today's snack cabinet. Each item made her identify with the company a little higher, and today it has reached an unprecedented height. It is really a blessing to be able to work in such a company. In the office, Chen Mo sat slumped in the gaming chair. After an unknown period of time, he slowly stood up, and his face was rekindled with fighting spirit. He looked at Shen Ro who was working and said, "Xiao Ro, please count how many employees our company has now. There is still 1 day left, and he still has a chance to spend the 70,000 yuan. Chapter 28 Distributing Benefits. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Okay, Mr. Chen. Shen Ro nodded, turned on the computer and started counting, and said after a while, Mr. Chen, our company now has a total of 26 employees. 0.26 bit. Chen Mo murmured in a low voice, then picked up the computer and calculated it. Looking at the numbers on the computer, he stood up and greeted Chen Ro to leave the office, then he greeted Yang Dehai who was waiting in the company. Mr. Chen, where are we going? After getting in the car, Yang Dehai asked. Go to Dai Lefu shopping supermarket. Chen Mo quickly said that Lufo is the nearest large shopping supermarket to the company. About an hour later, the vehicle slowly parked in the underground parking lot of Dai Love. Brother Yang, please wait here for a moment. I'll go and be right back. Chen Mo left a word and then opened the door and got out of the car. When Shen Ro saw this, she hurriedly opened the door and followed. Until now, she still didn't know what Chen Mo was doing in the supermarket. Go upstairs and enter the supermarket. Chen Mo took a look and went straight to the service desk of the supermarket. Hello sir, may I help you? The service staff at the service desk saw Chen Mo coming and asked with a smile. Apply for a shopping card with a face value of 500. Chen Mo said without hesitation that this was planned before coming here and there was nothing special about it. Employees work hard, and as a boss, giving benefits to employees, 1 shopping card per person is not too much. Sir, how many shopping cards do you need to apply for? The service staff asked with a smile. 26 pictures. Okay. The service staff was stunned for a moment, then nodded and began to take out shopping cards to count. It had been a long time since she had met someone who applied for so many shopping cards at once. Shen Ro, who was following behind, finally figured out what Chen Mo was going to do. She had just told Chen Mo that the company had a total of 26 employees, and at this time Chen Mo had applied for 26 shopping cards. It goes without saying, this is for employees. What a blessing to be an employee of Chen Mo. Sir, this is a shopping card, the total is 13,000. Chen Mo took the shopping card, paid the money and went directly back to the underground garage. Brother Yang, go to Xingyu restaurant. After getting in the car, Chen Mo said, it has been almost a month since I became the boss of the company, and it's time to take the employees out for a team building to increase the cohesion of the company. Xingyu restaurant is a relatively good restaurant in Jiangqing City, and it can completely spend the remaining system funds in one fell swoop. Chen Mo leaned on the car seat and gradually relaxed. Isn't it just 70,000 yuan? It still stumps me. The vehicle drove slowly and soon arrived at Xingyu restaurant. Hello, welcome. Who are you? Do you have a reservation? When the waiter saw Chen Mo and others entering the restaurant, he hurriedly came up and asked respectfully. I don't have a reservation, but I'm going to make one tonight. Chen Mo took a look at the decoration of the restaurant and nodded with confidence. With such a luxurious decoration, the consumption must be high. Okay, please follow me. The waiter respectfully brought Chen Mo to the front desk, explained his purpose to the front desk, and then turned and left. Hello sir, how many people are there, what time the reservation is, and whether we should order now or order at that time. The receptionist looked at Chen Mo and said with a smile. We need seats for 27 people. The time will be around 7:30 tonight. As for the food. Chen Mo pondered for a moment, and then continued to speak. I won't order the dishes yet. Just arrange them for me according to the standard of 44,000. Sir, you mean 44,000, the front desk asked a little uncertainly. Yes, it's 44,000. Chen Mo nodded. This was the price he had calculated long ago. After spending the 44,000 yuan and giving some benefits to his employees, his system funds would become several hundred yuan again. How clever. After booking the restaurant, Yang Dehai drove back to the company. Mr. Chen, are you looking for me? Li Shen came to the office, looked at Chen Mo in his seat, and asked respectfully. Inform the workshop staff and the chef over there to come to the office lobby for a meeting in 15 minutes. Okay, Mr. Chen. 15 minutes later, Chen Mo was in front of the hall, and all the employees stood in the center of the hall, looking at Chen Mo in front of him with curiosity. Mr. Chen, everyone is here. Shen Ro came close to Chen Mo and said softly. Chen Mo nodded, looked around at the many employees in the center of the hall, and spoke slowly. I've called everyone here today, mainly to talk about a few things. First, I have taken over this company for nearly a month, and I have noticed everyone's work attitude, so as the boss, I have prepared a small benefit for everyone as a reward. With that said, Chen Mo turned his head and signaled to Shen Ro. After these days of running in, Shen Ro instantly understood what Chen Mo meant. Take out the shopping carts that have been prepared long ago and send them to the employees one by one. When Chen Mo saw that everyone had received shopping cards, he continued to speak. This is a shopping cart from Daleview Supermarket. It has a balance of 500 yuan. You can go there and buy some things you need. As soon as he finished speaking, a series of exclamations came from the employees' mouths. Everyone, please be quiet. I will talk about the second thing. It is already July and the whole country has entered the high temperature period. Considering everyone's hard work every day, I have prepared a 500 yuan high temperature subsidy for everyone, which will be distributed to everyone's bank account later. A series of exclamations rang out in the crowd. Chen Mo shook his head helplessly and continued to speak. Then the third thing is that the company will hold a dinner to enhance everyone's feelings. And every once in a while, there will be a dinner, and the expenses of the dinner will be reimbursed by the company. Everyone can rest assured. As for the time and place of the dinner, it will be posted in the company's group chat later, and everyone can take a look. Okay, that's all, let's go. After Chen Mo announced the matter, he turned around and returned to the office. The agreed 500 high-temperature subsidies were distributed to the personal accounts of employees one by one. Seeing that the system funds have been restored to a few hundred yuan, I finally breathed a sigh of relief, and I was a little relieved in my heart. Fortunately, it was not paid during the settlement, otherwise there would be no way to recover it. I almost got tricked by Wei Yan, the traitor. Shen Ro, who was sitting at the desk in the distance, hesitated, and stood up and came to Chen Mo's side. Mr. Chen, I have something to do tonight, so I'm afraid I can't go to the dinner party tonight. She wanted to ask her part-time boss for a day off, but she gave up when she thought of the poor children who were still hungry in the orphanage. Although the current salary has risen to 8,000, every extra day of part-time work can save those children from going hungry, so after hesitating again and again, she decided not to go to the dinner party. I don't know if doing this will make Mr. Chen unhappy and think that she is not sociable. Chapter 29. How do you drink this wine? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Oh, if you have something to do, just don't go. Chen Mo looked up at Shen Ro and said nonchalantly, the money has been spent anyway, so what does it matter whether you go or not? After thinking for a while, he spoke again. Please inform other employees and tell them that they are not forced to go to the party tonight, it is all voluntary. Okay, Mr. Chen. Chen Mo nodded quickly, and the worry in her heart instantly dissipated. Li Shen, Mr. Chen is organizing a dinner tonight, so you don't have to go to the night market with me. Anyway, there are not many clothes left, and I can do it myself tonight. Wei Yan found Li Shen and told him his thoughts. Mr. Chen organized a dinner, although it means that everyone is voluntary, but the more people go, the better. Li Shen heard it and nodded in agreement. Okay, then you can run more. Don't worry, we will definitely clear out the clothes tonight. When we go to the company tomorrow, we will give the money we spent on clothes to Mr. Chen. Mr. Chen should be very pleased. I will ask for credit for you at that time. After all, it was you who came up with this sales channel. Wei Yan patted Li Shen's shoulder. He was very grateful that the other party had been accompanying him to the night market to sell clothes these days. Now that it was time to ask for credit, he couldn't do something like killing the donkey after it had done its work. Brother Yan, Mr. Chen is so good to his employees. I can help a little bit within my ability. It's nothing. Li Shen shook his head. How can this be possible? How can I forget you for such a good thing? Brother Yan is not an ungrateful person. Okay, it's settled. Wei Yan didn't give Li Shen a chance to refute. He turned into the warehouse and moved the only 2 bags of clothes left to the car. 7:30 p.m. Xingyu Restaurant. Several employees looked at the gorgeous decoration outside the restaurant and couldn't help but exclaimed twice. Oh my God, this restaurant is good. Looking at the decoration, the consumption must be high. This Xingyu restaurant is already one of the top restaurants in Jiangqing City. The chefs inside are all-star chefs in the industry. The consumption is naturally not low. The average per capita consumption is about 500 to 800. Wang Maoyan looked at the Xingyu restaurant in front of him and sighed. As a star chef, others became chefs in luxury restaurants, but he entered the company cafeteria. If his old friends knew this news, they would probably laugh at him, but there is no way. It is really that Mr. Chen gave too much. 500 to 800, then all of us together must have 20,000 yuan. Mr. Chen is really generous. When the employees heard the price, they couldn't help but sigh. Don't gather at the door, go in. Li Shen glanced at the people gathered at the door of the restaurant, said a word, and led the way into the restaurant. Hello, welcome, do you have a reservation? Walking into the restaurant, a waiter came up quickly with a smile on his face. Yes. Li Shen nodded and quickly repeated the information that Mr. Chen had given him. Okay, please follow me. The waiter became more friendly after hearing this, and enthusiastically led the way in front. The restaurant manager had specifically explained it in the afternoon, so she had to pay attention. It's worthy of being a big restaurant. The service attitude is incomparable to those small restaurants. If it weren't for Mr. Chen, I guess I would never come to this kind of restaurant in my life. Several employees following behind were talking in a low voice while looking at the environment in the restaurant. Please come in. The waiter led everyone to a private room, opened the door, and said respectfully. Everyone is here, everyone sit down. Today's preparations are a bit hasty, and next time we will prepare better. Chen Mo looked at the company employees approaching and greeted them with a smile. When chatting with the restaurant manager just now, he looked at the menu of restaurant dishes and found that with the consumption standard of this restaurant, he could spend more money. From this point of view, the company's team building can become a stable source of expenditure in the future. However, the system funds have been spent this time, so we can only do it next time. Thank you, Mr. Chen. Everyone looked at Chen Mo in the private room and shouted in unison. Don't be polite, everyone, take a seat. Chen Mo waved his hand and pointed to the dining table. Everyone sat down one by one, and the waiter began to push the dining cart in. Wang Maoyan looked at the dishes on the table and fell into silence. With his many years of experience as a chef, the per capita consumption of this dinner reached at least 1,000, just for the high-end dishes such as Australian lobster on the top of the dining cart. Unexpectedly, just for a staff dinner, Mr. Chen would spend so much money. Time passed slowly. And everyone drank a few glasses, and the anger gradually became active from the initial restraint. I saw Li Shen standing in front of the table and shouting loudly. What are we? Brothers. All employees shouted in unison with their glasses raised, then Li Shen spoke again. How do you drink this? Cheers. Everyone spoke in unison, and then drank the wine in the glass. Chen Mo watched this scene quietly and smiled slightly. He began to calculate in his mind that beer might not be worth much, and he would replace it with red wine next time. According to the amount of alcohol these people drink, it is guaranteed to be another large expense. While he was thinking, Li Shen came over with a glass of wine. Mr. Chen, let me toast you. Since you took over the company, everyone in the workshop has come out of their hazy state and have expectations for the future. Thank you, Mr. Chen. After saying that, without waiting for Chen Mo to respond, he drank the wine in his hand. Chen Mo looked at all this with some embarrassment and couldn't help but feel guilty. What he did was not something he thought about. He just wanted to spend the system's funds. After Li Shen came up to toast, some other bold employees also came over with their hands. Late at night, with Yang Dehai's help, Chen Mo finally returned upstairs. Due to the lively atmosphere of the dinner, he also drank a few drinks while being toasted by many employees, but he completely forgot about his drinking capacity. After a few glasses of wine, he started to feel confused, have no choice, that it can only be brought back by Yang Dehai first. What did you do? Why did you make Xiao Chen drink so much wine? Dong Hong looked at Chen Mo lying on the bed and couldn't help but complain. After these days of contact, their family has become very familiar with Chen Mo, and Chen Mo has never acted like a boss and has always treated them as his elders. This made Dong Hong very grateful and very reassured about Chen Mo's character, so she unconsciously had a trace of fantasy in her heart. His eldest daughter is now in her first year of college and is not much younger than Chen Mo. When her daughter is on vacation, she can go home to meet and interact with Chen Mo. This makes outstanding young people rare. If his daughter is with him, it will be considered a blessing, Dong Hong thought to herself, looking at Chen Mo lying on the bed, becoming more and more satisfied. Chapter 30 The system starts to settle, Wei Yan's little trick. You are listening at novelfull.audio. However, Yang Dehai didn't know what his wife was thinking. Hearing his wife's complaints, his expression was innocent and he couldn't help but explain. I didn't expect that Mr. Chen only drank less than a bottle of wine, and he drank like this. You also explained that as the boss's full-time driver, you don't even know how drunk the boss is. This is your dereliction of duty. When Dong Hong heard Yang Dehai's explanation, he stopped immediately and gave Yang Dehai a fierce look. When Yang Dehai saw this, he smiled. Years of experience told him that if he dared to talk back at this time, he would definitely be the one to suffer. Seeing that Yang Dehai did not continue to argue or hold on to this matter, Dong Hong turned and walked towards the kitchen. You watch, I'm going to make some hangover soup. Early morning, the sun fell on the bed, scattering star spots. Chen Mo rubbed his swollen head and slowly opened his eyes. The experience of last night gradually came to mind, and his face felt awkward for no reason. Grandma's, that I actually forgot that I couldn't drink. It's all because of those people who kept toasting, otherwise I couldn't help but drink a few drinks. Who was the first to propose a toast to me? Chen Momo really thought about it, and slowly Li Shen's appearance emerged in his mind. Is it him? He had a good impression of Li Shen and always listened to him, unlike Wei Yan's rebellious guy, who was always thinking about getting orders for the company and making it more difficult for him to spend money. By the way, Wei Yan didn't come to the dinner party last night. He must have gone on to do something else. I was shocked that I quickly looked at the system panel in my mind and found that the system funds were still a few hundred yuan from last night, and I breathed a sigh of relief, but I'm still a little worried. Picked up the phone and made a call. Hey, Mr. Chen, you're looking for me. Wei Yan's voice came from the phone. Chen Mo heard the call was connected and asked. Let me ask, you didn't take any orders last night, or today? There are no orders yet, but don't worry, Mr. Chen, I will work hard to run the business and my company can get more orders. By the way, there's one more thing. Wei Yan was halfway through talking and found that the phone had been hung up. Looking at the hung-up call, he thought about it and put the replacement phone away. Never mind, that I will report to Mr. Chen face to face when I return to the company. Anyway, the backlog of clothes has been sold out, so there is no need to be so anxious. Moreover, the amount of clothes sold these days must be calculated, and then it will be transferred directly to the company's account. Upstairs, Chen Mo hung up the phone with a look of displeasure. This rebellious guy is still thinking about how to get more orders, which is really troubling me. Fortunately, no new orders appeared. It seems that the system settlement should be successful this time. Dong dong dong. There was a knock on the door. Chen Mo came to the door and took a look outside, but saw no one. He already had a guess in his mind and reached out to open the door. Sure enough, I saw a small figure standing by the door. "Brother, mother asked me to give this to you," Yang Duo said, reaching out and handing the bag in his hand to Chen Mo. Chen Mo took the bag, stretched out his hand to rub Yang Duo's little head, and said softly, "Thank you, Duo. Hee, brother, I'm going back." Yang Duo raised her head and laughed, then ran downstairs quickly. Back inside, Chen Mo looked at the steamed buns and stomach-nourishing soup on the table. "I was somewhat moved in my heart. Ever since I arranged for Yang Dehai and his wife to join the company and gave them a good salary, this family has been expressing their gratitude in their own way." After a quick breakfast, Yang Dehai drove to the company. "Mr. Chen, morning." Shen Ro was wiping the tables and chairs in the office. When she saw Chen Mo walking in, she greeted him. "Morning." Chen Mo nodded and walked directly to his seat. Looking at the system panel in my mind, I couldn't help but laugh. Host, Chen Mo. System funds, 3.85/2 million. Personal assets, 1993. Settlement cycle, 2 weeks later. Countdown, 3 hours. There are only more than 3 hours left for settlement, and I will finally become a millionaire. Chen Mo was very confident this time. After all, Wei Yan had not received any orders, so there was no sudden payment from a customer, causing settlement failure. In a happy mood, start turning on your computer and looking for games to play. However, this time he was much more cautious when looking for games. He didn't want to be ruthlessly ridiculed by a rich man when he encountered a game like Tianlong last time. It makes me angry just thinking about it. When I get rich, I will kill him sooner or later. In the workshop, Li Shen came to the warehouse, looked at Wei Yan waiting there, and walked over. "Brother Yan, look for me." "Well, all the remaining backlog of clothing last night has been sold. Now we should count the total amount of clothing sold these days. After the statistics are completed, we will send it to Mr. Chen." "All right." Li Shen nodded, and together with Wei Yan in the warehouse, they began to calculate the amount of money earned from selling clothes these days. After a while, the two looked at each other as they looked at the final numbers on the calculator. 74,280 yuan, not bad. Wei Yan spoke softly. There were more than 10,000 pieces of clothes in the warehouse. He sold each piece at 5 to 10 yuan at the night market. More than 70,000 yuan in sales was already good. More importantly, these accumulated clothes were defective products that were returned. If they were not handled in this way, they would probably be thrown in the warehouse to collect dust, and they would also take up a lot of space in the warehouse. "Okay, I'll transfer the money to the company account. You just wait for my good news." Wei Yan said and got up and left the warehouse, thinking secretly in his heart, Boss Chen should be very happy to see that these accumulated clothes can be sold for this money. Watching the countdown decrease little by little, Chen Mo was in a good mood playing computer games, humming a song. On the other side of the mountain and the sea, there is a group of Smurfs. They are lively and smart, naughty and sensitive. Shen Ro sat at the desk and looked up at Chen Mo from time to time. Did Boss Chen encounter any happy events today? He looks so happy. And that song is so cheerful, why haven't I heard it before? I'll ask Mr. Chen later, and I can sing it to those children when I return to the orphanage. Chen Mo was playing the game while paying attention to the system panel in his mind, watching the countdown on it decreasing little by little. He was getting closer and closer to becoming a millionaire. Ding dong. The phone suddenly rang. Chen Mo subconsciously took a look, and his face froze instantly.